Hey sports fans, and welcome back to the Leo Dotson Show. Hey, today I want to talk to you about internet freedom. It's an incredibly important issue to you, to us, to all of us who believe in freedom. I mean, think about it. The internet has become our main means of communication. It's really our modern-day printing press. From an historical perspective, our founding fathers, when they were setting up our government, when they were creating our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, what was the most important thing to them? I mean, what did they put in the Bill of Rights ahead of the right to protect ourselves, even our judicial freedoms? The First Amendment, that's right. That's why it was first. Think about that. The freedom of speech is contained in that. The freedom of religion, the freedom of the press, the freedom of the right to peaceably assemble and petition our own government. These were the most important liberties to our founding fathers. Some of the heroes of our revolution. I mean, they said things like, give me liberty, or give me what? Death! I mean, you don't get more committed to a freedom cause than that. There's a state in New England, not too long of a drive from the New York City area here, that has a state motto that says, live free or die. And by the way, thank you, New Hampshire, for reminding us of how important our civil liberties and our Bill of Rights are with that state motto. Let's think about historically what happened. We've gone from the printing press, which spawned newspapers, magazines, the printed word. In the 20th century, moved into mass communication with radio and television, of course now the internet. And if we contrast today's internet with traditional means of communication, let's say TV networks, for example, think about that for a second. When most of the information in our society is disseminated via television networks, that information, that power to disseminate, that power to control the information flow in our society is controlled by a small elite group of multi-billion-dollar corporations. That's a dangerous thing for democracy because, number one, we can't be sure that it's always accurate. And secondly, even if it is accurate, they're always spinning it for their own reasons. They're like DJs, man, spinning. I'm just lost myself with it. The same thing they do. I mean, they got two turntables and a microphone and zero interest in our interest. That's what they do. They manipulate us with information flow, and we think it's true, and we buy it, and they take our freedoms away again and again and again. Why do we keep falling for this? With the internet, we don't have that. With the internet, the biggest thing it does is give information, and it disseminates it and gives the power of dissemination to millions and millions of people. It's a two-way communication, not just one. We can not only read what a multitude, not two or three major television networks, but a multitude of experts are saying on particular subjects. We don't have to take one person's or one group's ideology about that. We can form our own opinion. We can actually add to, be involved in, add to the body of knowledge. That's what's fantastic about the internet. I mean, think about it in terms of educational flow. I mean, there are universities and colleges and high schools that allow us to take courses online. I mean, research, all the information that you can find around the world at our fingertips. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you did a research paper where most of your information and your references weren't online? I mean, it's powerful. How about the economy? I mean, it's 2011. Hopefully, most of you knew that by now. So 2010 was the last full year of data that we had. In 2010, e-commerce accounted for 8% of our total economy. More than that, about half of retail sales were either done, transacted online, or were influenced in terms of their buying decisions online. That's powerful. On top of that, there are many studies to suggest that people who purchase online are more pleased with their purchase than people who buy through traditional brick and mortar stores. This is very, very powerful. What about businesses? Think about your business. How long could they do business or transact operations without the internet? Email back and forth, collaboration, communication. You and I could be halfway around the world for each other and still work on a project together collectively. That's amazing in today's world. Entertainment. I mean, my God, my brother over there, former Green Beret, I think he would slit his wrist if he couldn't get online and do gaming every day. We could look up research on our favorite restaurant, our favorite bars, information on our kids' schools, information on what amusement park we want to go to. The list is endless. That's what it does for us. Publishing. I mean, my God, we don't have to go through big publishing companies anymore who are the gatekeepers to who gets published and who doesn't get any recognition. We can write a book and publish our own works by ourselves. That's awesome. We can produce music online by ourselves. I mean, conceptually, you could be the next Michael Jackson. Uh-oh. I think I feel something going on. That thing right there. It makes me want to dance and shout, shout, and shake your body down to the ground. Tito, pass me a tissue. Sorry, I channeled Michael Jackson. If you don't know by now, I loves me some Michael Jackson. Man can dance. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Even the little quirky things that I do on the Leo Dotson Show and the fantastic information that I give you all comes via what? You guessed it, the internet. YouTube. Now, think about this. From the internet, who benefits? Well, based on what I just said and what you already knew anyway, the vast majority of Americans, the little guy, the little girl, the average person, everybody benefits except a few people. Who doesn't benefit? Well, maybe politicians who really don't want you to see everything they're doing with the Freedom of Information Act. Some of them probably would like the internet to be shut down. In fact, there's a move right now in Congress to give the government the ability, which they shouldn't even have the ability, to shut down the internet. There's an entire show I'll be doing about that later on. Make sure you catch it. It's called the Internet Kill Switch. Internet Kill Switch. Zit, zit. See what I'm talking about? Also, what about major corporations? Now, people complain about capitalism. I'm a proponent of real capitalism and real entrepreneurship. Real entrepreneurship is when there are numerous competitors, all with an equal playing field, all having a chance to give you the best value of products and services for you to choose from. But there are a lot of industries in this country right now with government-supported oligopolies. Think about it. How much competition really is there in the oil industry? I mean, you got Exxon Mobil, Chevron, which used to be Chevron Texaco. They gobbled up Texaco. You got BP, Shell, and ConocoPhillips. Those are the top 5 oil companies. And they've made over $1 trillion in the last few years of not just revenues, profits. And we still give them billions of dollars in tax subsidies. That's called corporate welfare. I bet they really would not like it if the rest of those small companies could compete with them. Think about when you have a small business. With the internet, you can literally do business around the world. I mean, you could have customers from everywhere, all across and still operate out of your house. That levels the playing field. Major corporations may not like that. Maybe they like to be the gatekeepers to themselves. That's what you have to think about. Now let's think about what should the government be able to do online. Well, one of the things the government should definitely be able to do is provide information, access for its citizens like you and me to see what the government is doing. That's the first thing they should do. But they should never be able to put information on the internet that is invasive or interferes at all with our right to the free flow of information. The government should never be able to manipulate, regulate, or taxulate. Yeah, I know taxulate's not a word, but I was on a roll. Give me a break. Now, one of the things that I do, one of the services I provide my peeps out there, is I create incredibly awesome new vocabulary words for your use. Don't laugh. Tomorrow morning, you're going to be in your office at the water cooler. You'll be in a conversation trying to sound all brainiac-y, and you're going to use the word taxulate. And you know what? You're welcome. Now, here's some things I want you to think about. 2 of the things the government should never be able to do. The government should never be able to access private information of its citizens without a court-ordered warrant or probable cause. Probable cause. Heard of that? Oh, yeah. It's in the 4th frickin' Amendment. There's an assault, people, on our Bill of Rights. And if we don't wake up, we won't have any. It's like your brain. If you don't think and use your brain every day, pretty soon you start losing it. If you don't exercise your body, your muscles, pretty soon they get fat and flabby. And if you don't exercise your freedoms, your Bill of Rights that we are gifted, that makes us unique in the world, pretty soon we start losing them. And if we don't demand to keep them, pretty soon the big powers that be, who like to keep the power for themselves, the Bill of Rights disseminates the power. They want to pull it back to themselves. They have a huge incentive, and they're very stealthy about how they do this. We've got to be careful. Also, the last thing the government should ever be able to do with our internet is even have the inkling of an ability to shut it down, like the government did in Egypt. There's a bill right now that the U.S. government wants the ability to shut our internet down just like they did in the internet. There's a whole show about that. I'll go through the excuses, which are all bullshit, that they give to us and show you why that's nothing but a cloud, a smoke screen to take away our Bill of Rights, our First Amendment. That's important. So what can you do? Well, first of all, make sure all of your friends see this video and subsequent videos about the Bill of Rights, because I'm going to speak up for you, and we're going to work together to make sure we keep our Bill of Rights. And also, if there are any major corporations out there with a conscience, and I'm not holding my breath, but if they are, and you're a major corporation, and you'd like to do what's right for your fellow Americans, and for your consumers, which wouldn't be bad PR, by the way, if maybe that gets you, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to come and check us out and be part of our movement. I'd also like you to oppose with your corporate dollars that buy off our politicians anything that weakens our Bill of Rights and our freedoms, and support everything that strengthens our Bill of Rights. And lastly, just do what's right.